As several of our questions, we talked about company culture. I'd like to hear from each of you on 2 things you like about your company culture and maybe 1 thing that you're trying to change about your company culture.
Is this being recorded?
Turn the camera off.
It's off. Cell phone's off.
So the ABB culture, we're a ginormous organization. I mean, all over the world, and our cultures. It's a one ABB culture, and we have a lot of core values that, as an employee, I'm actually measured on the core values of our business. But it's really the ethics and the integrity of the company in which I admire, and that's part of our core values in which we live by every day. And one of the things, I don't know if it's necessarily changing the culture, but being adaptable to the changes within the industry is vitally important, and being able to change with it and grow with it. And the other thing with ABB, and I have to thank them, so you can put this on camera, I have to thank them for supporting my career and for helping me get through my career paths by putting me through training and people development and product training and managerial training, and supporting me along the way. I think that's a big part of the ABB culture is investing in the people and ensuring that the talent is retained and they keep me motivated, especially from an ethics and a integrity perspective.
Yeah, I'll talk one thing about Stoneway Electric Supply. We are owned by Crescent Electric Supply. So we are 17 locations of 140 different locations. And one thing I especially like about our culture is Stoneway is a small company within a large company. We're a family-type business with $1 billion backing behind us. And one of the things I first noticed when I went to Stoneway is I went around to the different locations, and I would ask people, how long have you been with our company? And, the first place I went to said, one of the persons said 34 years. And I thought, that was neat. This company has somebody that's been here for 34 years. And then I went to another location, and somebody else had 32 years, and somebody had 38 years. And I thought, well, this is a place that people like to stay. This is where they come. They support their family. The other thing that I liked is our president, a guy by the name of Jeff Korick. One time somebody asked him a question about head count, and he gave an answer that just really resonated with me. He says, you know what? It's not head count. It's people count. It's husband count. It's wife count. It's spouse count. It's children count. It's not head count. This is our people here, and that's important. So,
Great.
Yeah, one of the things I love about Wesco is you can dream big and make big bets. If you have an idea. And you're willing to take the time and put the data behind it and work out the financials, you can really, you can go and say, hey, this is what I'm seeing. This is the investment I want to make. This is the money I need to make that investment. And if it's all sound, you can go. And I really love that about the company, and I like the fact that the company really does invest in its people and knows that. Its people are it's the backbone, I think, of the industry, but it's also the backbone of the company that's going to propel it forward. I'd say in the future, what we've really kind of need to work on, and what is empowerment, right? The larger you get, the more you have to trust your leaders to. Drive forward. We've got a lot of, you get bigger, it's more systems, it's more processes, and sometimes that, the opposite of that is it creates a few more roadblocks, and you've got to be able to, how can I be as nimble as a tech company, and as large as I need to be. So those are the things we've got to work on in terms of our future.
So Graybar is a large organization. We're employee owned, and that really is what sets the tone for our culture. Everybody has skin in the game. So integrity first and foremost. We will walk away from business if it's not the right thing. We will always do the right thing, and that is something from our CEO down that is told to everyone. And we will not tolerate anything less than doing the right thing. So I think from a culture perspective, that is fabulous. We also have a lot of longevity. So, we've been in business for going on 150 years. We do a lot of promoting from within. We have a lot of folks with over 40 years of service, and that's fabulous. People come and they make a career. What I would say is there's a flip side to that as well, though. The downside is I will always say that I swear I've spoken to some employees that have been there the whole 150 years. And their resistance to change is a little bit of a challenge at times. So becoming the ability to become nimble, the ability to move faster. I mean, everything that you said is the more process. We're large, but getting folks to change at a more rapid pace is something that we have to continue to work on. We are working on it. We just have to get better at it.
Thank you, and thank you guys for sharing the opposition side and giving us some ideas on what you're working on, because I think that's really important for us to know that everybody's working on improving and should be working on improving. We have about time for maybe one or two more questions, and then I want to give each panelist 2 or 3 minutes to kind of summarize and leave us with a little bit of wisdom. So anybody have a final question, either direction? We can take that now. Yo.
Matt, I have a quick question for the group. As we talk about learning and development and training, I'd like to get your thoughts on how do you learn best? Is it in hour increments? Is it on your phone? Is it online, in person, out of the office, in the office, at your desk? So what is your preference when it comes to how we bring learning to you?
A couple people up here.
I would just say for the millennial generation, I feel like they think we want to be on our phone all the time and on our computers, and that's the way training's going. But anytime I have opportunity to get in front, touch product, work with it. I'm Anna McNeely with Eaton. So for me to be in front of product and touch it is so important, rather than just get pictures or a video conference that takes an hour. So for sure, hands-on, in person is what I want to see.
Great.
Yeah, I agree with that. That's pretty much what I was going to say, is anything hands-on. PowerPoints put me to sleep so fast. Anything hands-on where I can actually use it and see how an electrician would use it. That way I could teach it to someone else. That's what I'm looking for in training, just like, can I learn it well enough to where I could actually show someone else how to use it? So that's what I'm looking for.
Russ Burrow from Ray Electric. To piggyback on both of what they're saying, all the computers and what ends up happening is, and I see it in my place too, and I try to be the boss that doesn't do it, is we get sat down in front of a computer as millennials because that's where we want to be, and then no one engages us. You guys just, like, the leadership will disconnect and say, well, here's your workbook, it's on the computer, you guys are good to go, right? You understand all that. But we want that in-person training. We want, I want to know how to put a circuit breaker in a panel so that when a guy comes in and he's buying it, I can recommend the right panel, the right circuit breaker. So yeah, it's very important that in that training that you guys there's an in-person contact in that training, and don't just, here's a workbook, go through the workbook and call it a day kind of a thing. So.
Hi, Eric Hoff again. Just to add to that, taking us out of this situation, away from the computer, away from the distraction, always has value. Some people are like, oh my God, I have to go to this conference, or I have to go this place, or I've got to go to this training. The reality is that they will respect that a lot more. And it's been my experience, training others and, being a part of different trainings, that it really does make a big difference, because then you get those connections, you are away from the distraction, and more can be achieved, So.
I would say I would turn it around from everybody else. I think, yes, hands-on is necessary, but I say all of the above, right? You need all the touch points, because you're not going to learn it just by playing with it for a day or a weekend. You're going to need to refer back to a workbook, do an online module, do in-person training, hands-on stuff. So I would say all of the above. I think you have to give them the opportunity to see it, touch it, and understand it, but then also reinforce it along the way. So,
Back in the back, Ben Fordry with Border States. Really cool concept that I heard once, and I'm sure all of you have heard it, and it's a little cliche, but to teach once is to learn twice. If you teach me something and then have me teach it to somebody else, I'm going to retain that so much more, and I'm going to be able to use that a lot more in the future. So that's something I really value, and I haven't really ever seen that done, like in a formatted way where you are taught something and then you're asked to teach somebody else. So maybe it's teach the trainer and then have the feedback there, or maybe it's teach somebody else new that's coming in. So just another little extra piece.
Thanks, Ben. We have one more right here.
Hello, Keith Rigo, Mars Electric. One thing that I love using is utilizing reps. Hands-on is a great way, and sometimes new employees, don't know how to use reps, talk to reps, so, having them come in, showing the product really works out well for us.
That's a great point. And we have a couple of reps here with us today, I think. Raise their hands. 2 guys. Yeah. Go reps. All right. We got just a few minutes left to wrap this up. So what I'd like from each of you guys is to kind of give us your final thoughts and maybe some pieces of wisdom, career advice, leadership advice, and we'll just go down the road.
Okay. I'll go first. One of the things that comes to mind is when you come to conferences, when you have opportunities like this, you're trying to soak as much in as you can. Spend at least 2/3 of the time with people you don't know. So your tendency may be to hang out with the people you came with the people at your company. But I'd encourage you to venture outside of those folks, get to know other people, and then in your careers, advocate. Speak up for what you want. If there's a position that you're interested in or a skill you'd like to develop, make sure that it's known, because we may not know that you're interested in that position or you're willing to relocate. You may be just one skill away from doubling your income, and the key is to find out what that skill is and then make it valuable to your company. So thank you for the opportunity to be here, and wish you the best of luck.
So I would say a couple of things. One, have fun. Have fun in your career. At the end of the day, this is just a job. Your job title is not going to be on your tombstone. I guess it could be, but I haven't seen it yet. So enjoy what you do. Enjoy where you do it. There are millions of jobs and companies out there in this world. Don't be miserable where you're at. Own that and be happy. We spend a lot of time at work. Second is, again, I had a long career in healthcare, and it gives me a little different perspective. What we do every day and in the electrical distribution field is very important. We wouldn't have these lights, for example, or this building. But I've held the hand of people that were passing. I've seen some pretty incredible things. And what I tell my team is people aren't going to die. Nobody's going to die at Graybar for what we did, hopefully. That's a lot of paperwork. That's a different thing. But at the end of the day, whatever we do, it's a mistake, and mistakes can be fixed. So take that as a learning opportunity. No one's going to die today, and just learn from it, and don't do it again.
So I agree with Jill. Just have fun what you're doing, and I guess throughout my career as I've progressed, I really I just went and did something that I knew was going to be a challenge for me, and I took that challenge, and I learned along the way, and it really helped me to do something that I just. Not that I couldn't do it. I said, yeah, I can do that. It's not something I've done before, but I'm going to give it a shot. I'm going to do the best I can at it, and I'm going to learn my mistakes along the way, and I've made them for sure. Things I maybe shouldn't have said or should have said. But, really stretching your abilities to do something that may be out of your comfort zone. And again, in this career path is communicating with the people that are leading you too, communicate to them what you want to do, communicate to them your ambitions and your career goals and where your next, 2 to 5 year career path is going to be, because they're not going to create it for you. They can help you pave that path, but you have to communicate to them what you want to be doing in your career. So have fun, work hard, and I appreciate being here. It's been a pleasure. Thank you, NAED, for asking me to be on this panel.
Great. Thank you. I would say there's two pieces of advice I want to leave you with. One is you're at a really special time in your careers, and the whole world and a whole path is in front of you. Enjoy it. I look back, very, very fondly on the years I was in training, and when sky was the limit, and we got to try new ideas, and I love what I'm doing now, but they were really special times. So I would enjoy it. And when you and your teams win, celebrate those wins. We had the last couple years, I don't know if anybody knew this, but oil dipped a little. And, it's a lot of companies had to do some things. And then now we're looking at continued growth for the next 4 or 5 years. Enjoy this time and learn from it. Think outside the box and kind of enjoy the moment without getting too much to sound like a graduation speech. The other thing, with all people, we're a people business, and that's both internally and externally, and with our customers. And you're gonna have disagreements. Corporations and teams are like families. Okay, and sales will be like inventory, operations, and credit are trying to ruin my life, right? They don't understand the customer. I always do this. I assume noble intent until proven otherwise, right? That they are looking out for the best in what they think they're trying to make the best decision for what they've been in charge with. And I think when you do that, when you assume noble intent, you have a lot of empathy. And you work together better, and you build a better organization, and you build a better team, and you have a lot more fun. But I would like to thank you for your time today. And again, I'd love to thank NAD for giving a chance to sit on the panel. Thank you.
Let's give our panel a round of applause. Thank you.